It is definitely a soup season, so I have a few to share with you today. Hey guys, if you are new, my name is Vanessa, and even though I live in Texas and we don't really have a winter, it does cool off a little bit, and that is exactly what's happening right now. So I've been cooking more soup-like dinners, and I filmed 3 of them to share with you guys today. So we are going to go ahead and jump right into them. I'm actually gonna be making like a hamburger stew. I have 2 pounds of ground beef in a big pasta pot, and whenever I'm cooking ground beef, I always add onion and garlic powder. I do not measure, I just kind of sprinkle it, cover the top, all that good stuff, just to add that little bit of extra flavor, and it just makes the ground beef smell good when you are cooking it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cook this up in my pot before adding in some more yummy ingredients. Now I'm going to add 1, 2, and 3 teaspoons of minced garlic, 1 small onion that I diced up, and 4 medium carrots that I just kind of chopped into chunks. So I'm gonna stir all these together and let this cook for about 5 minutes. All right, now I'm gonna add in 1, 2, and 3 tablespoons of flour. And I'm going to stir this for about 2 minutes, just making sure the flour gets coated over everything. Okay, now we're gonna add in the rest of the ingredients. So 3 cups of beef broth. Okay, and I've already got 1 can in there, but 2 cans of crushed tomatoes, 1 can of tomato soup. Okay, so I did put the beef broth in here, but I'm also going to put in more of, if you have beef bouillon, this is, let me show you, the Better Than Bouillon beef base. I just keep this in my fridge to add a little extra to dishes. Okay, this W sauce, like I like to call it, I'm going to add in 1 and 2 tablespoons, and then 4 potatoes that I peeled and chopped up. 1 cup of pearl onions, and this is what the bag looks like. You can actually find these in the freezer section of your grocery store. Okay, I'm gonna sprinkle in some thyme seasoning, maybe about a 1/4 teaspoon. And then I only have a little bit left of this Italian style seasoning that I picked up from Trader Joe's. So any Italian seasoning, maybe about 1/2 teaspoon. I'm gonna do a pretty big pinch and 1/2 of salt, and just a little pinch of pepper. Okay, I'm gonna stir all of this up. You could also add green beans. I only have these super long green beans, and to be honest, I really don't feel like cutting them up. But if you had some cut green beans, you could add maybe about a cup or 2 of those. But again, I am just omitting those. I'm not gonna add those in this time, but typically when I do make like a beef stew or hamburger stew, I would add some green beans in. Okay, last, I'm gonna add a couple bay leaves in as well. I have some left over from previous dinners that I made. So I'm gonna throw some in here, and I'm going to keep this on medium until it comes to a boil, then turn it down to like medium low and let it simmer for about an hour. Also, about every maybe 10-15 minutes, I will stir it just so nothing sticks on the bottom, since we are cooking it for, about an hour. Okay, dinner is served, and I love to add cheese to mine. Super yummy. And for tonight's dinner, it's just super simple. Sometimes I do make a side salad, but tonight I just heated up some breadsticks from Trader Joe's and the soup, and this is definitely going to be pretty filling. So I figured no salad for tonight, but that is a great option for this type of soup. Okay, it is soup time again, and this one is gonna be a vegan curry lentil soup. I've made a couple different variations. This one is mainly, whenever I make something vegan, it's really for my oldest daughter, Paige, who likes to eat a plant-based diet. The rest of us enjoy it a little bit too. There's lots of really yummy vegan recipes. So this one, I've got most of my ingredients out here. The seasonings, it's curry powder, cumin, thyme leaves, and salt. And then we've got some minced garlic. I'm gonna be using this vegetable base, a can of tomato sauce, of course your red lentils, some baby spinach, and then over here on my cutting board, this is 2 medium carrots that I peeled and diced up, and then this is a medium-sized onion that I diced as well. Okay, in my Dutch oven, and you can use any kind of pot, I'm just using my Dutch oven because I don't get to use it that often, and I thought it would be nice to use for this soup. But in here, I put a little avocado oil in the bottom and dumped my carrots and onions in, and I'm going to cook these for about 5 minutes until they are all nice and soft. I added all the seasonings in, so 1 tablespoon of curry powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of thyme, half a teaspoon of salt, and then I did 4 teaspoons or 4 small cloves of minced garlic, whatever you have, fresh or already minced. Sometimes I like to use fresh, but the already minced definitely makes it convenient. But I'm just going to stir this for a little less than a minute. I think I'm gonna turn my heat down a little bit here, but just to get everything nice and fragrant, and then we will add in some more ingredients. Okay, now we're gonna add our can of tomato sauce. I'm gonna add about 5 teaspoons of the vegetable base and 6 cups of water. And if you don't have the vegetable base, you just need about 6 cups of vegetable broth. All right, I'm just gonna scrape off the bottom and make sure nothing is sticking. Okay, I rinsed and drained my lentils. So I'm going to, and I did the whole bag, so a little more than 2 cups. I'm adding all of that into my pot here. All right, I'm gonna mix these in. I'm gonna turn the heat back up to high and let this come to a simmer. Okay, now that it has come to a simmer, I am going to turn it back down, not too low, about medium. I want it to keep that light simmer. I'm going to put the lid on and let it cook for about 20 minutes, stirring every 5 minutes just to make sure nothing is sticking and to keep those seasonings mixing together. Okay, it has been 20 minutes. I turned the heat off and I'm going to add this entire bag. It is 5 ounces, so just a small bag of baby spinach. And then the heat is just gonna wilt it for me, so I don't need to leave the heat on. So we're gonna mix this in, let the spinach get nice and wilted, and then serve right away. Soup will be all done. Okay, it is time to eat. This is definitely one of my favorite vegan soups. Super easy and delicious. We are going to be making an Italian sausage tortellini soup. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, to start, I'm using 1 pound of Italian sausage. I am cooking it all in one pot just to help save on dishes. So I've got this on medium high, and I am going to brown this up. But whenever I am cooking meat, I always add onion and garlic powder. Now, Italian sausage is pretty flavorful on its own compared to like ground beef or ground chicken, but I just love flavor. So I'm so used to just adding these 2 seasonings on everything that it's just second nature now. So I put a little onion and garlic powder on there, and I am just going to cook this until it is completely cooked through, nice and brown. My sausage is nice and brown. I'm going to turn the heat down closer to medium, and now I'm gonna add in 1 small onion that I did dice up. And then this is probably equal to about 3 large carrots. I have a huge bag of those baby carrots, so I think I did like 16 of the itty bitty baby carrots. So I diced those up, I'm gonna add those in. But again, I think this is probably like 3 large carrots that you'll just peel and dice. And then this is just 1 rib of celery that I diced up as well. So we've got all these in here. I'm gonna give it a good stir, and I'm gonna cook this for several minutes until the onion is nice and soft. My onions are definitely nice and soft. I stepped away for a minute and it was a little bit longer than I had intended, but it is still going to be delicious. Now we're gonna add in some seasoning. So I'm adding in about a teaspoon of salt, and then 1 and 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. And then I'm also going to add in about 2 teaspoons of garlic. I'm gonna give these a stir and just let that garlic cook for about 30 seconds until it becomes really nice and fragrant. Oh my gosh, I love the smell of garlic. Okay, now I'm adding in 1 can of tomato sauce. This is a 15-ounce can. Then you're going to want to add in 2 cans of petite diced tomatoes, about 28 ounces total. So this is a 14.5-ounce can. I'm going to add this in, and you could add in 2 of the same if you wanted to. I'm gonna add in this can of fire roasted diced tomatoes with garlic, just to really up it a little bit and give it some more flavor. But like I said, you can just add in 2 cans or 1 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes. These are just the 2 cans that I already had in my pantry, so I figured they would be really good in this soup. Okay, and then you're gonna add in 3 cups of chicken broth. So I actually had to make my broth. I have this little, I know it's not gonna focus while I've got other things going on, but I have some chicken flavor bouillon that I like to keep on hand, just so I'm not constantly having to buy chicken broth. But if you guys already have chicken broth or you make your own, you're gonna need about 3 cups. So I am going to give this a good stir, and I'm gonna turn it back up to right below high, like a medium high, and I'm going to wait for this to simmer. Okay, it is starting to simmer. So I am going to turn the heat down to medium. I'm going to put my lid on, and I'm gonna let this cook for about 15 minutes. Okay, it has been about 15 minutes. That was boiling really hard. Okay, now I'm going to add in this shelf-stable tortellini. So if you have fresh tortellini, you can do that. Just don't cook it as long. But I am gonna add in this entire bag. It is a little bit over a pound. And I'm going to cook it. It's probably gonna take about 13 minutes since this is a little bit harder. So if you have fresh tortellini, just maybe like 5 minutes. Just heat it up within the soup. Keep an eye on it. But mine is definitely gonna have to cook a little bit longer. All right, this actually cooked a little bit longer than I remember. I went more like 25 instead of 15 for the tortellini, but it definitely does not take that long if you are using refrigerated tortellini. You're really just heating it up because it's already cooked for you. So I love this, super easy, and it's kind of like a dump and go. You just have to kind of watch it. So I did go ahead and make these little like copycat Red Lobster biscuits. I get the little packet from the Dollar Tree, but this is our soup dinner for tonight. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed these recipes. If you try them, please take a picture and share it on Instagram and let me know what you guys think about it. I have all my other social media platforms linked in the description box in case you guys want to follow me anywhere else. I would love for you to subscribe if you are not already and join our community. Now, I was going to share some stuffing recipes with you guys today, but I'm going to, and it is the week of Thanksgiving, but I'm going to share them on Wednesday because I have one more that I really want to try out, and if it's good, I want to include it in that video. So cutting it close to Thanksgiving, but stuffing is really good any time of year. So be on the lookout for that video on Wednesday, but until then, I hope your Monday is starting out fantastic. You're having a great start to your week, and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye.